I can't do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay.
We'll do it live. It. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. Welcome in. It's the Daily Punch Up. It's Thursday, May 29th. Welcome in, kiddos, to the live show. We appreciate you watching and listening to the live show here on YouTube and Twitter. Also on the Puck Sports mobile app. That's right. We've got an app. You can listen to us on the move, on the go. So, again, you've got choices. All right. You're in the car and like, I think I can only watch them. You can't. You can listen. Just download the Puck Sports mobile app, Google Play Store for Android users, iPhone, or the App Store for iPhone users. And there you go. You're taken care of on the Puck Sports mobile app. Listen on the go. Put in your car, Apple CarPlay. It all works. And again, if you'd like to watch this, I don't know why anybody wants to watch me. I never quite understood that. It's for the fancy signs that we've got in the back. We are live as always, YouTube, Twitter. Go back and watch everything later. If you come into the live show, you're like, well, I missed the first part of it. How do I go back and watch? YouTube, Puck Sports, also on all the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast. And, of course, everything up at pucksports.com as well. We, of course, broadcast live every day in our studios, the Limbach Lumber Studios. They take care of you at Limbach Lumber. Contractors, you do-it-yourselfers, they will a smile, a handshake, professionalism. Now, that's what you get there at Limbach Lumber. They also they offer free deliveries, everything from whole house packages to you do-it-yourselfers, you homeowner DIY projects. Largest stock moldings in the Northwest. They've got old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Give them a call if you're interested in that kind of stuff, and why wouldn't you be? 206-782-3487. Visit them online at limbachlumber.com. Of course, follow me on all the social media platforms, Puck Sports on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Instagram, Puck_sports on TikTok, if you like the small clips that we put from our shows. And we're on Facebook as well. Just search Puck Sports. And I mentioned it before. I'll mention it again. Pucksports.com is where you find everything. You want to sign up to be a Pucks Posse member, you get you contribute to all of the free daily shows we do with the Daily Puck Drop, plus all of our bonus shows, like yesterday's appearance with Ryan Divish, our MLB insider. A new episode of the Sports Pit will come out this week. We didn't have one this week because of the holidays. And in case you miss it live, when you want to go watch later, our brand new podcast with our good buddy Mitchie the Kid, Mitch Levy, Mitch Unfiltered. We have titled the show. He came up with the name of the show, KJ Arntz. I have a hard time saying KJ Arntz. I tend to say KJR Arntz. KJ Arntz. Chapter 4 today. And there's a funny story about Chapter 4 that I'll reveal here in a moment. Before we get Mike Garafolo will join us here in about 5 minutes from now. Brad Adam plays a role in the funny story about episode, or I should say Chapter 4 of KJ Arntz. See how hard it is for me to say? I've got to pause every time. Brad Adam will come on a little bit later. So we record. Mitch and I record in the morning. How much shit do I always give our buddy Jim Moore for screwing stuff up? Well, I screwed something up today. I'm thinking, we're doing the interview. I'm like, I have this echo in like sometimes in the platform that we use, you get an echo. I'm boring you to death with all this stuff. I got an echo in my ears. Like, what's going on? And like, we try to fix it and no. And sometimes it happens and it goes away, but it was there. It was present. I said, you know what? I'll get through it. I'll be fine. I'll have the echo of myself coming back in my ears, the whole interview. Or the whole segment. It was fun. And now are we going to replicate the 30 minutes we did and just rehash it and just verbatim of just do the exact show that we did? Then I listened back to the recording and it recorded me with the echo. So if I would play it, you'd be like, all right, Mitch. It would have been awful. It'd have been awful. So Mitch is going to come back on live here coming up a little bit later. And we'll have him on. So we'll do KJR Arntz. See how it's hard for me to say. Chapter 4, which at that time we titled "Not Enough Sports," but we'll do it. We'll do part 2 coming up a little bit later in the Daily Puck Drop. I mentioned before, Garafolo is going to come on. We'll talk to Mitch live. We got Brad Adam, Root Sports. We'll play that coming up here in a little bit. Actually, we'll play that probably after Mitch. But so we'll get to all that stuff today on Thursday's edition of the show. I quickly want to say, if you missed, I know we were off. It's Monday's a holiday. Then people are getting back into work on Tuesday. We didn't do a show Tuesday. I'm traveling back from Bend. So yesterday was our first show of the week. So, people are getting back in the routines for this week. If you missed yesterday's show, and it was a different show, and normally we've got a lot of fun on here, and that's our goal every day. My goal every day is just to make people laugh and have fun and not take stuff too serious, because what are we talking about? We're talking about sports, and sports isn't serious. It's just the fun of games. But Jim had come up or had asked me a couple weeks ago, hey, I've got a buddy. His name's Corey Widman, and the month of May is Mental Awareness Month, and he was just wondering, he wanted to do something to bring awareness for mental health, and would you be interested? And Corey and Jim know each other through the baseball community. Their sons were going to play baseball together at Pierce County Community College. Well, that all changed a couple of years ago when Corey's son, Reese, who's 17, took his own life in a car accident. And he was battling depression. It was brought on by medication he was taking, other factors, COVID, all of it. And so Corey wanted to come on. He's a huge advocate in raising awareness for mental health, and obviously the community of Washington State and everyone. You've probably had somebody touched. Everybody probably knows someone or knows someone who is a friend or family member that has gone through depression and suicide. So we said, yeah, of course we'll do it. And so we had to push off a couple of weeks, but Corey was on yesterday, and that was, Jim and I talked about it afterwards. It was a tough interview for us, not because we were uncomfortable, because you just start thinking about your own family and your kids. I got an email from a viewer or an audience member, Eric. And what Eric wrote me is how I felt, throughout that entire interview with Corey. And I just want to thank Corey, number one, and his wife, Kelly. Really want to thank Corey, because it's I think it gets easier for him to talk about, but it gets also, I think hard for him to talk about. But it was very important yesterday having Corey Widman on to talk about his son, Reese, who took his own life a couple of years ago for Mental Awareness Month. So if you missed yesterday's show with Corey, go back and watch it. It's up on YouTube, part of the Daily Puck Drop, and also on all podcast platforms there as well. Just want to thank Corey and his wife, Kelly, for sharing their story. And Eric. And Eric wrote in an email to me, thank you for that interview with Corey. I'm a dad of 3 kids, coach baseball over in Eastern Washington. I've always wondered what I would be looking for. So I'm not trained on dealing with emotions of kids, signs and symptoms. I think your interview with Corey will help so many people to listen and deal with today's youth. So go check it out in case you missed yesterday's show. All right, let's transition. We'll talk again coming up later. Brad Adam will join us, Root Sports. Mitch Levy, Mitch Unfiltered Live, our new podcast, KJ Arntz. But a guy who's been with us from day one. This guy is like the OG of Puck Sports. Apparently he stinks. You just got done with a workout. Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network is all brought to you by Hartley and Hartley Insurance, your trusted owned insurance experts in the Puget Sound area since 1978. Honesty, fairness, integrity. Contact Jamie Hartley when he's not playing golf. 253-565-8700. And Zogs on Fox Island. Yesterday it was 85 degrees here in our beautiful city and state. That's a perfect time to go to Zogs, cold beer, hang out with friends, watch the game, check out Zogs on Facebook and Instagram. I've been begging for you to be on a golf course for the last month. You haven't been on a golf course. I think you're in a car.
Yeah, but this is not going to work. This is not going to work if we're because I got to hold the phone the whole time, so it's not going to work that way.
How about
I don't know
can we put a GoPro like on the hat or something, and we look at the view?
I almost played today. I almost played 9 today, but as I dropped my daughter off this morning, she's like, "Dad, can you pick me up today?" I was like, she's a half-day kid because she's in pre-K. I'm like, oh, God.
You
And then I
have
thought, I was like, what if I don't pick her up? Like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going to happen if I don't pick her up? But at some point, the guilt set in. So I did have a lesson earlier, and then I just finished up at the range here. I got so we're hitting 7-iron. We hit like 7-iron or driver when it comes to lessons, right?
Okay.
But that's fine. But then today I'm like, oh, I haven't played this year. I have not, but I've been at the range and I've swung the club, and I said, well, let me hit a 4-iron. And it was like I never played golf before in my life. So like, it's great. Like the 7-iron's dialed in, but it's like those videos that watch me play this hole was par 5 with just a 7-iron. That's what I'm gonna have to do.
Hey, a 4-iron's tough, man. It's a tough club to hit.
You got to be able to hit it if you're gonna play. If you're gonna be a good golfer, you've got to be able to hit. You can't just be like, well, it's hard to hit a 4-iron. It's bullshit. Hit the 4-iron. Hit it and hit it well.
Well, that's what you need to tell yourself. Next time it's your lesson, next time you go to the driving range, just take the 4-iron. Don't take anything else.
This is a great book because next session intention, long irons. Just wrote that down.
It's the league that never stops. Right now we got OTAs starting ramping up, huh? What's the big OTA talk? I see the Seahawks. They had a perfect day or a perfect week to start their OTAs. They're running out there. It's so weird to see them here because the last few years you've seen all these familiar faces, right? You got Geno Smith running out there. I mean, obviously with Mike McDonald taking over last year, but with Pete Carroll, then DK Metcalf. But boy, it's like a brand new team. They went through this transition. I was thinking about this today. They went through this transition a year ago with a brand new coaching staff. It seems like now is like the real transition because they got a bunch of new players. They got a totally different team now.
I mean, especially when you do it at the quarterback position. I mean, that's as important as it gets, and that's gonna. I mean, look, is it going to be like, well, why'd they sign him? Because of 1 year that he performed indoors with an amazing group of targets around him and an unbelievable offensive coaching staff, or is it going to be like, we finally unlocked Sam Darnold. Thanks, Vikings. We're going to take it from here, right? Like it's going to go one of two ways. It's a leap of faith, right? It's a leap of faith in a lot of ways. And I know that they're confident that what Clint Kubiak did early in the season with a healthy group of Saints is going to translate. But you're right. I mean, there's, DK's gone, Tyler Lockett's gone. It's a lot of changeover. It's a lot of changeover for this team.
Now, I legally cannot say that you're a betting man because you're not a betting man. No bet on anything. Nothing.
I don't know why you had to throw legally in there. You can't say. Yes, you can say.
You know these things about that liquid. So for those just listening, Mike is taking a pull off a liquid death. The marketing genius behind these people is every time I see that you or somebody else pull up one of these things and drink a liquid death, I'm thinking, really, Four Loko at this time of day, that it looks like a malt liquor drink every single time.
Yeah. Cops across America getting fooled by people pulling them out of the cup holder in their cars too. But it's delicious. It used to be.
It's just water, Mike.
Because no. It used to come from the Alps, and now it doesn't. This one's from Idaho, Rocky Mountains, or Blue Ridge Mountains. It used to come from the Alps, so this is not the same water it used to be.
I'm just telling you, liquid death fits Idaho more than it fits the Alps.
I've never been to Idaho. Sounds wonderful.
I mean, there's some nice parts of Idaho. Actually, there's some great parts of Idaho.
Sun Valley.
It can get a little tricky. Up north a little bit. It can get a little dicey up north, but
at the stick part. What do they call it?
What do they call it? Oh God, there is
gotta have a name.
Yeah, there's a name for it, and I'm an idiot for not knowing what it is. Okay, you tell me. What do you think? You would put the odds of him being last year's Sam Darnold greater than the Sam Darnold we've seen since he came into the league? What do you think? What's more likely to happen?
Somewhere in between. And huh?
It's got to be one. Sam Darnold Vikings or Sam Darnold Jets?
Was there a Sam Darnold Panthers that flickered for a moment? Maybe.
Sure, I'll give you that option. I'll give you a Sam. Yeah, there was a Sam Darnold Panthers that kind of worked.
Like he beat the Giants, was it, in MetLife Stadium? He came back to MetLife Stadium and won a game. I can't remember where it was, but maybe that guy. Who's not going to light it up, light the world on fire? But they feel like it's a good fit for the system and the scheme and the coaching staff right now. It's been, nobody's played it down. Who was I talking about yesterday? I was like, oh, it's Caleb Williams. Hey, everything's great with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson. Yeah, wait till Caleb makes a mental mistake, tries to spin out of a pocket and should have stayed in there and delivered the ball, and then Ben Johnson reacts to that. Then let's see how everything's going. It's so much easier. OTA football is great. Just a helmet, slow motion, team accounts, and no real turnovers.
Everybody's in the best shape of their lives. It's like spring training for baseball.
Yeah.
Everyone's doing great. Love the system. System's great. It's going to work out. This is perfect for us. Really love where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you touched on it because it is a big risk for them. I mean, how they go this year and whether or not they have success or not, and this is not anything groundbreaking for anyone, is going to be him.
Yeah.
It's going to be how does he play, and that's it. There's a lot of pressure on Sam Darnold to deliver because there's a lot of people out there, this, that really doubt that he turned it around, that he had a great stretch of 14 games, but really when the pressure was on and they needed Sam Darnold to be, that alpha male quarterback, he wilted.
Yeah, but he's not going to be. I mean, that's not the guy that he is, and they're not going to ask him to do that. I mean, Mike McDonald, I remember talking to him at the Combine, was it, about this guy's pulling Twisted Teas out of the car right now. Attaboy. For the driving range?
It is 1:00 where you're at. I think you can go Twisted Tea. Hey, how old is the gentleman that's drinking a Twisted Tea? Do we know? Get me a guess.
30?
Okay, 30 works.
He just stuffed like 4 of them in his bag. I mean, what kind of session are we going for here?
Well, that's aggressive, but they're not that strong, I don't believe.
Strong enough, dude.
This is what the high school kids drink.
I've never drank at a driving range, and Topgolf doesn't count. I mean, that was.
Oh well, maybe it would help you hit the 4-iron.
No, everybody says that. That's not. Oh, you need some swing juice. Shut up. No, but they're not going to. I mean, even last year when he performed well and he really helped make that thing go. It's not like, oh, look at Sam Darnold slinging it. It was more, oh wow, they've done a great job putting him in a position to succeed. Right? It's going to be that kind of reaction if he's successful, and that's what'll be deemed a leap of faith that landed.
What if he's it goes back to Darnold Jets? You think there's that possibility that it's that bad?
No.
He's turned a corner, you think, in his career to where maybe he's not like playing at the elite level, like the highest level he was at last year.
Yeah, I think he's learned a lot throughout his career. I think he's matured a lot. The Jets over the years have been, I mean, it's incredible how things just don't go bad for the Jets. They go royally bad for the Jets, and just everything snowballs. It's like there's no 7-10 season with the Jets anymore. It's just, even if it was 7-10, it would feel like 3-14 the way things go with these guys.
Why is that with some professional teams, though? Because the Jets are that team. For as long as I can remember, I'm 49 years old, they've not been good. They've just never, they've had stretches. They've had, the back-to-back seasons with Rex Ryan and Sanchez. I think they get to the AFC Championship game in those years.
Twice.
So they were on the cusp of it, but even when you look back at those teams, you're like, not convinced they were truly like a Super Bowl contender. When I was a kid in the 80s, the only thing that was great about them was Mark Gastineau. I mean,
they had some good teams back in the 80s. I mean, they had early 80s.
Like 84, 85. That's kind of when I'm like, Mark Gastineau was like,
I mean, the sack exchange is what made that team go, but they were good enough offensively as well. I just like they go for it, right? They swing big. They've always swung big. Woody Johnson, even back to signing Tebow, which Sanchez at the time was like. I remember the comment, selling seats, man. It's the one time he cracked. He was like so solid, and then one day he was asked about it. He's like, selling seats, man. And you could see his frustration with having to deal with that. And they certainly went for it with Rodgers and allowing Rodgers to help bring in some guys that didn't necessarily work out. And certainly didn't work out if he wasn't on the field, because that's what they needed that first year. So it's just, even when they're bad, they're just spectacularly bad. And I think back to Darnold, he got kind of caught up in that, and he got kind of that knocked his confidence down, and that really made things kind of snowball downward. So you say, Jets Darnold, the Seahawks aren't set up like that. The organization's not set up like that. So there's no chance it'll be that. It'll just be like, did we overpay for a guy that's kind of a middle of the road quarterback, and should we have done more to keep Geno Smith? Like, that's the only way I see it going negatively.
What do you think, if I don't know if you've talked to him, you probably had, but have you interviewed Darnold, with what he went through with Minnesota, now in Seattle, and I'm just curious if you have, or you've talked to people, what is it that he's learned or grown from?
Well, I think he's become more confident in himself and in his skin. I think he's learned, there were mistakes early in his career. There were turnovers early in his career. I think he's done a better job of that. I think that's going to be a huge part of it. Get back to, again, running the football, that takes the pressure off you to have to do things and try to be a hero at times. So I think he's certainly improved in that area, decision making as well. I think last year really helped with that, and Kevin O'Connell opened up his eyes for how to do things and how to operate as a quarterback. Kevin O'Connell being a former quarterback, Josh McCown being a big part of that as well as his quarterback's coach, which is why I find the J.J. McCarthy thing so fascinating. Can they get the same production from him at a much lower number and be on that rookie contract the way that they had hoped they would be on the rookie contract? He's going to be fascinating to watch, having not taken a snap his entire rookie season.
It'll be fascinating to see it. I think that I'm always have one image ingrained in my head of Sam Darnold. I mean, we watched, he's a West Coast guy. We watched him, and he was a Pac-12 guy. And, there was always this, you can see the talent level with Darnold. I'll always remember that the game in Minnesota, I can't remember who they played, what big game it was, or what big win it was, when he comes in that locker room and how he was embraced by his teammates with the Vikings. Like that's, I don't think that happens. I don't know how rare it is. I don't know how often that happens in the NFL, but I think the love shown by his teammates to him, I think pretty significant. He seems like he's just very, very well liked with every team.
He's never a bad dude, right?
No.
Like, never. And when I talk about the Jets and how badly things went, this is not a Johnny Manziel situation. This is a situation where he needed more help and he needed to be put in a position to succeed, and they just didn't make that happen for him. And I think people like a comeback story, particularly those that are rallying around him every single day. So I think that's why you saw that reaction last year.
We do. Everybody loves a comeback story. Everybody. Yeah. It's like the best thing about
Johnny
sports.
Manziel came back tomorrow, people would root for him.
Oh, I'd sign up for that. Sign up for Johnny Manziel coming back. I'm surprised. Yeah, there's part of me. I always wondered what Johnny Manziel is up to right now. I have no idea what he's doing. But
that
surprised he's not in jail.
Yeah, I didn't watch all of it, but that documentary on Netflix was really trying to glorify a lot of things, and should have been glorified. Like, this is a guy who needed discipline and didn't get any, and all the way through to his agent being an enabler for him. Yeah. Like, that's not, the parents didn't do it, the agents didn't do it, the team tried to do it, too late at that point.
Yeah. I haven't really invested too much time in it, other than I'm just kind of, it's funny, and maybe it's one of these off-season storylines. Why is Mike Vrabel so upset with Diggs? Because he's on a boat with his girlfriend?
There was something in the bag that seems to be debated. What was in the bag?
Oh,
because I when the video first, I'm watching the video, I'm like, okay, so he's flirting with other girls while his girlfriend's on a boat. I wouldn't advise anybody to do that. I wouldn't, certainly if I had a son, tell him to act that way. But gotcha. And then all of a sudden, a bag came out with colored things in there, and nobody seems to. So
unidentified pink substance.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Well, what the hell's pink, huh?
I don't know. That's why people were like, well, if it was white, we would be clear on what it was. And
Sure.
I still have not seen a consensus like this is probably what was in the bag. People are guessing. I don't know why it was pink. And if it wasn't anything, you should be able to quickly dispel that and say, oh, there's nothing in the bag. So that's why he's, not happy.
Hey, you brought it up, and you're like, everything's going swimmingly fine, right, with the Bears and Caleb Williams and all that storylines and all the book with the Wickersham. I think we talked about that last week or a couple of weeks ago. But the part of that came out. I want to be a Bear. How much when you look at Caleb Williams and dealing with Ben Johnson? I mean, is the Ben Johnson is it a hard coaching? Like, does it get on him? And is that what Caleb Williams needs? That type of just like in your face type of coaching? I don't know if Ben Johnson's like that. I'm just curious if that's what Caleb Williams needs, and that's what.
Yeah, he's not like a hard driving Tom Coughlin, Bill Parcells type guy, right? It's more of he burns hot, particularly on game day when he's calling plays and he's on the sideline. I've seen it in action. Like you'll get some of that. So I don't think it's I don't talk about it necessarily from a negative perspective. It's just going to be a different approach than Caleb has seen to this point, and I'm curious to see how he responds to it. And maybe that is what he needs. Maybe he needs a little bit of light of fire underneath him. So it'll be that type of thing. Like it's not like during the week he's coming in and he's playing mind games with him and fines and some kind of negative comments. It's not that with Ben Johnson. It's just on game day he's going to want him to make the right decisions, and when he doesn't, Jared Goff did a great job, and Jared Goff caught an earful a lot. So let's see how Caleb responds to that.
Idaho Panhandle.
I was going to say Panhandle, but I thought it had to be on a body of water like the Florida Panhandle, but I guess there's an Oklahoma Panhandle as well. I guess anything where it looks like a pan and you can grab it makes it a panhandle. There you go.
Panhandle. Yeah, that's what it was. I knew it, and I'm ashamed of myself for not picking it up.
I almost said that too, to say, oh, it's a panhandle, kind of like Florida, but I guess anything could be a panhandle as long as it looks like a panhandle.
It's a beautiful part. It's a beautiful state. You'd mentioned the ski resort. Yeah, it's great. Lake Coeur d'Alene too. You ever make your way out there? Lake Coeur d'Alene.
You know what I wonder sometimes? What's happened? Like, because Idaho is a big state, right?
It's fairly good size.
How about Montana? Right, Montana's huge. Like, what's happening in most of Montana? Nothing. Because in Jersey, we got everything covered. There's no part of Jersey where you're like, well, except for the Pine Barrens, which is sort of down that way. But it's like everything else we've really covered. Yeah, there's got to be like hundreds of miles of stretches of Montana, which is nothing happening.
You can drive if you ever make a road trip to the West Coast. If that's ever in the cards for the Garafolo family. Yeah, you drive through eastern Montana. I mean, you're going to go hours with nothing, just land. Like Yellowstone. I mean, it is just out there. It's beautiful. Okay. It's gorgeous. Yeah. It's gorgeous. You'd love it. All right. Go back into the driving range and see if the guy, 4 twisted iced teas. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's going to have a hell of a range session. I'll tell you that.
It's my hand placement. It's really screwing me up. It's like he wants me coming through. Man, I was hitting the 9-iron. I was hitting the stuffing out of the 9-iron.
9-iron.
I was hitting my 9-iron like 160. I was like, okay,
jeez.
like carry 160. I was like, okay, muscles. And then like my 4-iron was carrying 160. I'm like, what's the point? Why would I then hit a 4-iron? Like, there's no reason for this club to be in my bag. I hit a few on the nose. Yeah. There were a couple that rolled out the 212 that were right dead on line, but I don't know.
The 4-iron show of record. All right, Mike, love it. Thanks for doing it every week. Mike's a weekly appearance brought to you by Hartley and Hartley Insurance, your trusted family-owned insurance experts in the Puget Sound area since 1978. Honesty, fairness, integrity. Contact Jamie Hartley, 253-565-8700. Also, Zogs on Fox Island, perfect spot for cold beer, hang out with friends, and catch the game. Check out Zogs on Facebook and Instagram for their summer hours. All right.
I bet you Jamie hits his 4-iron well.
He's a good golfer. Real good and fast.
Oh, good.
No dicking around. Gets up there, hits the ball, grabs another cocktail, moves on. Great golf. One day when you're out here, we'll all go play.
That'd be great. We need. Well, who'd be our fourth? Those two guys, me. No. Those two guys, me, you. That's four. Hello.
Yeah,
Four. You know what?
That's how we got it.
I'll bet you I grabbed the wrong club. It wasn't a 4-iron. That's probably I can't count the 4 apparently. So,
all right, Mike. We'll talk to you next week.
See ya.
See you. There he is again, Mike Garafolo, with us every single week. All right. Baseball talk. Normally I have Brad on earlier, but we threw on Mitch first because part of the reason I screwed up with Mitch is I had the Brad Adam episode up and playing or doing something, so it got screwed up and all a bunch of echo. I don't think there's an echo problem with this one. Weekly appearance with Brad Adam, talking all things Mariners baseball right now. How much fun they're having. This could be you. Go visit John Howie's Steak today. Voted #1 restaurant in Seattle by the readers of Seattle Magazine. Classic steakhouse with the best selection of hand-cut steaks from USDA Prime to Japanese A5 Wagyu. Book your next reservation today at johnhowiesteak.com.
The music too. Big band, big jazz band.
Everybody loves the jazz band, Brad Adam. Everybody does. And everybody loves John Howie's Steak. By the way, classic steakhouse with the best selection of hand-cut steaks, USDA Prime to Japanese A5 Wagyu. Also, hey, maybe meat's not your thing. John Howie's got you covered. Fresh local seafood, also some poultry, forage mushrooms, and farm fresh vegetables. Also, Brad's weekly appearance brought to you by Whiskey by John Howie, which they feature a global selection of rare and well-done whiskeys with something for everyone. They offer a speakeasy vibe, and that's the vibe that Brad gives off every single week. Speakeasy. So it's a perfect place for date nights and a quiet night out with friends. And they love talking to whiskey. They're bartenders over there, Whiskey by John Howie. So check them out both, Whiskey by John Howie and John Howie Steak. He's such a big guest. It takes 2 sponsors, not 1, 2.
Oh, I like that.
Bring you Brad Adam every week. How was the road trip? Successful? It ended poorly with Houston, but for the most part, a successful road trip.
It was good. 6-4, always good to have a winning road trip. I thought of you in Houston. I'm like,
sweating.
Walker walked it off. I'm like, dang it. Puck and I talked about Houston. Dang it. Here they are. One of their pitchers, Ronel Blanco, just announced they're going to have Tommy John, so he's done for the season.
Yep.
They've got more injuries in their rotation than the Mariners do now, but there's just something about them. And there, too.
They're pesky and they won't go away. That's the fear. We talked about it last week. It's my fear with them. It's like, yes, they got all these injuries. It's not the same Houston team, yada, 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 yada. But they just won't go away.
Half game back.
Yeah. I don't
game
like
back right now. We don't like it.
It's not like, the Mariners, we've been lost in the glow of how they've started, right?
Right.
But we can still revert back to the offseason and go, well, there wasn't a lot done. And so now is it starting to come back to reality a little bit. But I just, until you kill them. And I mean a sports kill. They're just going to be there.
But it was a good trip. San Diego sweep was fun. Saturday it rained all night. That was surprising in San Diego.
Not fun. How did the boys' trip go? We haven't. I don't know. Did we ever get a recap of how the boys' trip went? Because remember, you left Thursday,
right,
and you were there all day Thursday. You didn't even have to work on that Friday, by the way,
right?
Because it was an Apple Plus.
It was
game,
really good. You'd be proud. We figured out it was 4 of us, high school buddies. Got after a little bit, and it was the first time we were all together since one of my buddies' wedding. It was like 18 years ago. The 4 of us have not been together. Yeah, because I go down and see them because 2 still live in the area, so I see them when I go down. But the other buddy's able to make it down. So the 4 of us, we started a little golf, and then we went out. Little Italy, a couple of places there. Sure, it was a good. It was a good time.
In bed by 9:45. Did we make it to 10?
What? We did pretty well. Like 11.
Wow, that's for your age. Yes,
that is pretty good. Well, we started at 4:30. You love this.
Well, that's aggressive.
See, that's pretty good, right? Yeah, it was this little island out near the airport, Point Loma. It's like this dock. The island is basically like the dock area, and on the dock, people fish out. Is a bait shop, and bar. Oh, so you buy bait, but also beer,
buy some booze. Were you fishing and drinking?
No, we didn't fish. I wanted to, but my buddy didn't have a pole, so we just sat and watched people drink on the pier. It was beautiful. I mean, San Diego, you can't beat it. So it was fun. And then they swept them, and that was great. And then Chicago was miserable, 40s and raining every night, miserable. And that team is terrible.
Yes,
the fact that they lost a game there is somewhat disappointing, but it's okay. They won 2 or 3, and then the Houston happened. So, but overall, good trip.
Yeah,
for sure.
Overall, we started off. I mean, you go 6-4. It's good. On that trip, we saw the return of George Kirby, and then we saw the return of George Kirby at home on the Wednesday night start. So far, has not gone well for Kirby. I mean, I guess the good news is he's healthy, but the first few starts have not been vintage George Kirby, and maybe we shouldn't have expected him to be vintage George Kirby right out of the gate.
You're exactly right. And Houston, I totally understand that start. I think we got excited about last night. George is his second start.
Yeah.
It's his home debut. He's going to be George. Everybody excited. And it's like, well, he hadn't pitched in a long time, right? He pitched with 1 inning in spring or something, a couple of rehab starts, which didn't really go well either. So he's still trying to find location. He's still trying to find the feel. He's still trying to find pretty much everything. The good thing is,
me.
Basically you. But the velo's there. He likes kind of the way he feels, the way he's bouncing back. The shoulder feels really good. He was up to 78 pitches. Everything seems to be fine. He'll just kind of keep fine tuning things as he goes. As opposed to do this in Tacoma, he's doing it at the major league level. So it may take him a few starts, as we've seen. But we're all pretty confident that he'll find it pretty quickly.
I mean, who knows? I mean, this the funny thing about baseball at all levels, right? And you get those first 2 quick outs of an inning. And then as anyone is watching, if you're coaching or just in it, you're like, God, the third out is always miserable. Right? It just is. It's miserable to get that third out at every single level. He did that last night in the 4th inning. He gets those 2 quick outs, and then it just kind of, he ends up walking Garcia? Or no, he walks Garcia, gives up a single to Bell. He can't finish off Hassel when he's up 0-2 on him, and all of a sudden he gets a hit. He scores Garcia, and then it just unravels from there because he ends up giving up the double after that.
Right.
But it's like that inning goes different if you can just finish him off or finish off that inning, and it looks much better, but he just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it was 2-0 at that point, right? Yep. And it was 5, but it was 2-0. But he didn't get a lot of help. Randy had a bad throw. J.P. Crawford had a bad relay throw. I think both those guys, it would have been a close play at the plate.
Sure.
It's just, it was certainly not a good night for the team in general. It was good to see Jackson Kowar make his debut. Nice inning. And Blas Castano, I mean, I don't know if he'll be here much longer, but it's always nice to see a kid make his major league debut. So a couple of things that were, kind of nice, I guess, from last night. And now you go today and try to win a series at night against their lefty, their best starter. So, and they've done well against really good pitchers. So
that's the weird thing about this team this year. Is everyone's oh God, they didn't get last night's game there against Williams. Williams is terrible. He was terrible. He had not had a quality start this season at all, and they made him look like a Cy Young Award winner. Yeah. And then they get Mackenzie Gore today, and now your reaction is, oh my God, they can't possibly beat Mackenzie Gore. And then they're going to come out probably tonight, and beat Mackenzie Gore.
Right. Put up 5 on them.
They've done that all year long. It's so weird. They have done really well against the other team's staff face. It just says, Joe, the sport is so weird. I was listening in Walking the Dogs late night, listening to the post-game show, and Goldsmith just made a great point. He's like, it's the oddest thing with baseball. You can go one night, we just look unbelievable. They win 9-1, and then the next night you lose 9-0, and you look like a completely opposite baseball team. And that's what was the case this week. And
I'll give them credit because you're right. They looked really bad in game 1, and they turned it around. And, it's all lefties. It's just the 3rd and 4th time in team history that they faced a lineup with all lefties. And I'll be curious if they do it today against Hancock. But that Juan Soto trade that they made to San Diego years ago, I mean, they've gotten 4 starters and Mackenzie Gore out of that trade.
So who are them all? It's Abrams, Wood, Gore.
Gore. I want to say.
I've got the internet here.
Gosh, you should do that. But I was talking to their writers yesterday about that. I don't think Hassel was one of them.
Well,
but
here's
talk
the thing.
about a trade that could, set them up for success because those young players look pretty good right now.
Yeah, they look great. Let's see. Traded with by the Nationals with Josh Bell to the Padres.
Oh yeah, I got Bell back too
for Robert Hassel.
Yeah, it was Hassel. Okay.
C.J. Abrams.
Home run. Yeah.
Mackenzie Gore, Luke Voigt, and James Wood.
Yeah.
James Wood is
oh my gosh,
the most beautiful looking baseball player I've seen.
6'7". I didn't realize he was that tall.
He's
6'7".
He is a monster.
His 2 home runs were 448 to dead center, and then last night 435. I talked on the postgame show.
113 miles an hour off the bat.
He hits some puck and nobody moves. It's one of those home runs. You're like, damn.
Like when I'm when I'm alone by myself, private, when I want to create my baseball player, that's
where are we going?
It's gonna look like
where
him.
are we going with this? Okay.
Yeah, well,
right. No, I know he's like a younger, somewhat lighter Judge right now, same size, just monster.
It looks effortless too.
And their number one guy, Dylan Cruz, their outfielder, who's their supposed to be number one prospect. Their guy's hurt right now, so that's why these other outfielders are up. So
yeah, that's a hell of a trade, man. Abrams,
right?
Wood, Hassel, and then Gore goes tonight.
Yeah,
is Gore
so
leading the league
starters.
in strikeouts? Is he not?
Yeah, I think so. 93. So that's an impressive trade. And now look at Soto in New York. I'm telling you, man, they overpaid. We talked about that. I've never been a huge Soto, but who cares?
It's not your money. Who cares if they overpaid?
You're right. I don't care. You're right. You're right.
He's a billionaire. He can overpay him whatever he wants.
That's true.
Juan Soto's going to be fine.
He's going to be fine. Okay. All right.
Come on.
All right.
Is Jorge Polanco going to be fine?
That's a good question, man. May, the numbers have been down in May for the team.
Down?
It's been the team. It has been really down for him, and I can't quite understand what's going on. He had one at bat in Houston from the right side.
Yeah.
I asked him, and he said he was fine. I don't know. It's I don't know.
Either he's regressing really bad, because we thought he was going to. We've talked about this.
You knew he was going to regress.
He was going to drop, but we said, how far is his drop going to be?
Right. What's his floor?
Yeah, and so this has been really bad. I mean, his month of May is 145, 221, 226, and 446.
Yeah.
Now, it's either he is just regressed even worse than he was last year, or these injuries that he's not going to tell you or anybody else how bad it is.
Right.
Then it's the knee that he dealt with in the offseason. Maybe the knee's acting up again. I mean, probably the knee was never 100% when the season started, I would guess.
Right. So I can't play in the field. Right.
Right. And then now the oblique, and maybe the oblique's just a bigger deal. But I mean, so it's probably a combination of both. I would assume the injury has a lot to do with this, of how he has struggled immensely in May.
And what worries me in May is Julio has picked it up, which is obviously a good sign.
Sure.
And Cal has been just MVP level.
Yeah.
And is Cal really like a 255 hitter?
In my dreams of the future, yes.
Yes. Okay. So can he keep this up? I mean, can he carry the offense the whole year? I mean, he's going to dip too. We talked about Polanco, but I mean, Cal can't stay this hot. Kind of what happens when he slumps. And this offense looks a lot different, obviously, when he's hitting home runs. So that's a concern of mine as well. Like, where is it going to come from? Because we saw a lot of contributions from just about everybody in April. And in May, it's kind of like been a little different. So, but we figured the offense would be, up and down and not super consistent. The rotation needs to be, and it has been. So, once Kirby gets back, Miller's back this weekend. Gilbert's on a rehab assignment in Tacoma tonight, going 3 innings. So, I think they're still, that's obviously still their strength, and they're still in a good spot.
Can we not just marry the two together? Because this was part of my glass half empty outlook on them was the second that they got their starters back in the rotation good, like the offense would start to dip. Why can't it just merge together in a beautiful symphony and we ride off in the summer?
Well, maybe. But it's like your golf game, right? You're either hitting it well or you're putting well. It's never together.
Hey,
right?
Perfect segue.
Oh.
Episode 1 of Fairways and Fastballs is out on your favorite platforms, including YouTube. Check it out.
Thank you.
On Fairways and Fastballs, hosted by Brad Adam on YouTube.
Thank you. Well, I thought I had one there on that par 3.
Go check it out, folks. There are 2 of the. That's what hole is that at Bear Creek?
That's number 3, Bear Creek.
How far?
We were playing 111.
What? Oh,
we're playing the whites. Oh, come on. Come on, like you just hit the hole whenever you want. I tell you, Manny,
I would take it on a Green Lake par 3,
exactly.
50 yards if it got in. I would take it.
Now, I had one of those on a short course like that. Would you count that as a hole-in-one?
I count it, yes.
Okay, thank you.
I don't, whatever. You know what? I would count it.
Yeah.
Fairways and Fastballs up on YouTube. Brad pays me every time to say it. But
and I appreciate that. Manny
Adka and
Bobby Magallanes.
Yes.
Mags.
On the first episode, they go play golf and they talk baseball. But Brad and Manny hit two of the greatest shots on this par 3, and Brad nearly holes the damn thing.
It was awesome.
And poor Bobby, he had to step up after the two of them. And I think he hit it
right in the weeds,
right in the weeds. It was a little worm burner in the weeds.
It was worm burner. And you know it's bad when the cameramen start laughing too. And I'm like, don't laugh, right?
You have to laugh.
You do. And those guys are great about it. And everybody wants to play with Manny now because he's so much fun.
I would actually just make him part of it now.
I might have to.
He's so good. So damn funny.
Hopefully our second episode's coming out Sunday. Kind of depends on Logan Gilbert tonight. Just want to get him back healthy before we air the one with he and Mitch Garver.
So you've already it's in the as they say in the business, folks, it's in the can.
Correct.
You just haven't released it yet because he's been on the IL, and hey, it's probably people would be like, why is he playing golf when he's on the IL? Not knowing you had taped it before he was injured. Totally understand.
So hopefully that'll come out on Sunday. And then at the Mariners golf tournament.
Hey, Brad, where can they find it when it comes out on Sunday?
Hey, well, it'll be on Root Sports just about every day, my friend, all around the Mariners programming. And then our YouTube channel, Fairways and Fastballs. And then they've got their cystic fibrosis tournament on Monday, which we're going to shoot another episode. I'm very excited about that because Dan Wilson playing. Your favorite catcher, Cal Raleigh, will be playing.
Ooh. Where does he play, from the left or right side?
I have no idea. We're going to find out together.
Maybe he's a switch golfer.
Switch golfer.
Has there ever been a switch golfer?
I'm going to bring that up. There's never been. What kind of clubs would you have? Like
You'd
universal
have to have
clubs?
2 of each. Or a head where you could turn it or something.
Yeah.
Could you turn it? It has to be. That would be so cool.
That would be really cool. I've heard
dog leg left, you hit righty. Dog leg right, you hit lefty. Oh, that'd be phenomenal.
I would let you have as many clubs as you want if you were a switch golfer. Forget the 14 club rule.
34.
Whatever you want.
You're going to have as many in your bag that you possibly
Whatever
want.
you need. Exactly.
You mentioned, we were talking about Polanco and Julio. You're right. The May has been very good for Julio. 281, 317, 490, 806. He's at 6 out. Yeah, you'll take that. A sign of things to come. You think he's starting the heat up a little earlier than normal?
Boy, that'd be nice. When they need it now, when guys are struggling in May, you need your superstars to carry you. And Cal's been doing it, and Julio's been kind of lost a little bit in this season that Cal's having. So, Julio's like about a month ahead of schedule, which is really good to see. Still hitting the ball hard. He's playing a fantastic center field, like
your pregnant wife.
I mean.
Not yours. I'm just saying anyone's pregnant wife. A month ahead of schedule.
Where are we? Month ahead of schedule.
You're like, hey, man, I don't know where you're going with this, I don't like it. I don't like it, sir.
Yeah, we need him, and obviously, but he's playing back at an all-star level, which is good to see. And they should have several representatives, in the all-star game. I'm excited Cal will get his first. I hope that he gets voted in. Because, the Mariners never get voted in.
If he doesn't get voted in,
but it's all
not the starting catcher.
I know. It's
for the American League.
The Yankees.
Then they should end the All-Star game.
I agree. Yeah. Sal Perez will get a lot of votes. Just guys that have been there, just guys at big markets. It's all. I know.
Kansas City, that's not a big market.
Not a big market. But the guys who have been there, you think catchers, you think Sal. But
so Cal, who else?
Julio will probably get added. He won't get voted in, but he'll probably get added like he, usually does, because the guys always bail out. Munoz for sure.
Yeah.
I think Brian Woo's got obviously a very good chance.
Woo should be there.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's 4 that I feel real confident in. A month ago I would have said Polanco, but obviously I don't know if he's going to be able to rebound.
Cooled off a lot, but maybe what he did in the beginning garners him. I mean, it feels like a year ago we were doing the Polanco and Judge, AL MVP race.
Right. Right. Yeah, a month ago. And it was funny in Houston, all the guys were saying how the Astros really tried for Polanco this offseason. They thought they were going to get him. And then Mariners must have outbid him and got him for the year. So hopefully he can still be productive. You're right. Get healthy and figure it out. But I think there's going to be at least 4 All-Stars, and then maybe somebody else sneak in there like I don't know, Castillo. Because, again, remember, there's going to be 10 guys that don't play. So you need to have guys fill in. And maybe Castillo could be like a fill-in type guy. You never know.
The Polanco thing and whether he's hurt or not, I mean, and again, I mean, I'm just kind of curious where, what has led to him having the struggle of May that we've talked about. But, I think that if it continues, something that myself and Divish talked about this week was, what could there be, if he is injured, could there be an IL stint for him? Could there be something where, hey, we need to rest him a little bit to get him fully healthy? Maybe he's not fully healthy. I don't know.
Right.
This internet, I mean, the internet is blowing up. They've got the tridents out. They have been marching from Tacoma to Seattle.
Ooh, who we got?
You know who they want.
Oh, yeah. Second baseman?
They want him. The guy had 5 hits this week in a game.
Last night.
Last night, yes, on Wednesday.
The Mariners
Cole
had 5
Young,
hits.
they want him. And Brad, they are accusing you and others of standing in the way.
Yeah.
Stop it.
I'm just want to make sure it's the right time for the kid. I don't want to rush. I want him to be ready when he comes up here. Actually, we talked to Jerry DePoto on the pregame show yesterday. And that was our second question. And he said, kind of along those lines where you want to make sure it's the right spot time. He said it's going to be, what was his line? I think it was one of those like sooner rather than later, or like the right time is approaching, or right or wrong time, and the right time will be sooner. So my guess is, kind of listening to him talk and seeing where the team is, I would guess sometime in June.
Here's what he's doing. I mean, whether
his May has been fantastic.
Well, I was going to give you the May here.
Give it to me.
His batting average, he's 409. His on base is nearly 500. He's slugging 761. He's got over 1,200 OPS.
That's worthy.
Well, and the cool thing is, and I know numbers get inflated because of this league.
Yes.
Everybody understands that. What he's doing, though, is, and what you want every young player to do, who is highly regarded in your system, is to force the big league's hand.
Right.
And they're doing that right now. And I know that the fallback for people is going to be, listen, we're only talking about him coming up because they didn't do anything in the offseason. I think there's clearly some truth to that, because there was no plan at second base for the most part. I mean, the plan was Ryan Bliss, and then Ryan Bliss gets hurt. But there was no external plan at second base.
Right.
The plan all along was for him to be the guy at some point.
Right.
And we probably didn't think it was going to be this, maybe the end of this year, certainly in 26. But hey, everyone sets their timetable differently, and he's rushing his.
Exactly right. I mean, I think that they were hoping at some point he could be up and force his way up this year, regardless of who they kind of had. I mean,
so
he finished strong last year.
You think that's what they want? Like, what is happening now is what they wanted to see.
I think so. I don't know if it would be this early, because like you said, they wanted Bliss to have the job and kind of run with it. But they always thought that Cole would be a guy that could come up at least, a September call up this year. I mean, he was in their plans to make it this year, not out of camp, but to make it to the bigs this year. And they've got a couple of guys that are pushing the door. He's one. Harry Ford's another one. But that's going to be a really interesting one, because
what do you do with him though? But he's got to play, and so
exactly. And Jerry said yesterday that they tried a little left field position switch, and it did not go as well as they hoped. So
when did they do that? They did that recently in a game in Tacoma?
No, they did a little bit last year.
I remember that.
They tried a little bit left field, and it was like, he didn't feel great out there. So he said again last night that he will be a catcher. So,
well,
that's a tough.
He's not going to be a catcher in this organization. That's what I think.
It's going to be hard, because you can't, like you said, you can't bring a young guy up and play once a week.
He's got to play. So I mean,
that'll be interesting. But for Cole, when he does get here, you're right. He will be the everyday second baseman, and hope to see if the bat will play.
And you'll hope
defense will be fine. So
because the risk is Ben Williamson, right? Because Ben got off to a great start.
Great start. Everybody's so excited.
Yeah, including myself. I'm the president of the Ben Williamson fan club, and I still am the president of the Ben Williamson fan club.
It was really good first 10 games. It really was.
And then it took a real big dip. Now, for those naysayers who are like, "Oh, he's the worst thing in the world," because I love Twitter now. He's the worst baseball player that's ever put on a baseball uniform. It's a small sample size. I will say that the last 9 games have been better. Now, again, he's not. I shouldn't say never. Power has not been his thing. Power can hopefully come later. But at least in the last 9 games, his average is over 300. He's on bases at 355. Again, he's slugging 310. I mean, doesn't hit.
Yeah, that's the problem.
He doesn't hit, and that's a position you got to hit.
Exactly. The corners, you have to have power. And it's just, it's hard for them right now because they're not getting a lot at first either. I mean, Tellez does have a few home runs. Sure. But he and Solano haven't done a whole lot. Williamson's not done a whole lot.
Corner, you need power. It's a traditional. I mean, I know you can get other places, but they lack it.
Yeah, and the outfield to corners as well. And they've got, Randy's done okay in left field. Tavares been okay, but there's no power in right either. So it's it's the Cal Raleigh show right now, which is again fun to watch.
Can Cal play first?
Yeah, Cal, we're going to give you a day off from catching. But just go play first.
He has not had a day off.
Every game. Can he go the whole year, DH some, and just play every game?
That's what Divish wants.
Divish
wants to see him play every day.
One at bat and just play every day.
Yeah.
First in history, right? First catcher in history, 162.
Yeah. At some point, they're going to have to give him a break. Let him just get a breathe, like a real break, not like where you're not going to catch.
Hit. Yeah.
And then we're gonna pinch hit you. Just let him have a day off. Don't even let him put his cleats on.
He doesn't want that though. He wants to play.
I know so what?
He's great too. I love when he says, they make the lineup. They tell me when to play. I'm like, you don't have any say in whether you play or not. It's
do what I'm told.
They just put me there. I just go play. Yeah.
All right.
Love him.
Brad Adam, his weekly visit with us, again, brought to you by John Howie Steak and Whiskey by John Howie. Whiskey, by the way, offers a chef-driven menu with fun, elevated bar food and signature items from John Howie Steak. Shareable plates and unique creations, perfect for pairing with cocktails or rare pours. If you want some big, meaty steak, and you want that ambiance, right, of an old-school steakhouse, where you broker deals over cocktails,
cigars,
red meat, and cigars. When men were men. John Howie Steak, a classic steakhouse with best selections of hand-cut steaks, USDA Prime, Japanese A5 Wagyu.
It's got to be A5.
It's got to be A5.
Request that.
I've had A4, not as good.
No, 5's the one.
Thank you, Brad. Till next week.
Buddy. You got it.
There he is, Brad Adam, with us every single week talking Mariners baseball. I have raised my chair. Do I look better now? Does this look more normal? Mitch was right. I was really down here. I feel like I'm on a booster chair, for God's sakes. Limback Lumber. I'm in the Limback Lumber shot, though. We need the Limback Lumber sign back there to be visible for everyone. This looks better. It's You know what? You need a friend, because that's what he is. He's a team player. Speaking of Mitch, Chapter 4, KJ Arndt, our show title of our podcast, again, is only available free to everyone during the live show. So once this show's over here in about a minute or two, the only way to go back, in case you missed it, he was on earlier today, the only way to go back and watch and listen to it is if you sign up to be either a Puck's Posse member, which you can do at pucksports.com, or the QR code that's on your screen if you're watching the show, or you can be a Mitch Unfiltered patron. Just go to mitchunfiltered.com. Both platforms are great. Either one that you sign up for gives you access to it, and it's just $5 a month. Also, you get a discount if you sign up for a year, though, if you're a Puck's Posse member. So anybody and everyone that signs up, appreciate the support. It's great. Love it all. Big thanks to Brad Adam for joining us today there as well. And it brings us to, hey, what the puck? Brought to you by Restoration One in North Seattle. It's a restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when these damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917 or visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. All right, Cole Young. There's got a lot of internet chatter right now about Cole Young. Cole Young has been putting up some absolute monster numbers in Tacoma. 371, 455, 691 slug, 1,100, almost 1,200 OPS. 5 home runs and 20 runs driven in the month of May. Left-hand hitting, short, middle infielder, but second baseman. All the talent in the world, 21 years of age. He's skyrocketed up throughout the system. They've got all this talent. We talked, you talk about all the talent that's in Everett, ton of talent in Tacoma. They have a hole at second base. They're doing some patchwork there. The risk of bringing him up, because this will be the thing. It's funny sometimes with fans because in all of us, right, we get enamored with prospects. Then when the prospect delivers, and he's delivering right now. See, what Cole Young is doing is what you want him to do. Forget the numbers and forget where he plays in the league and all that. Tacoma is that you want them to force the big league club to make a decision on him. They don't have a permanent second baseman. Ryan Bliss was never going to be truly that guy. And Ryan Bliss was, is probably destined for, a backup role, but he's a nice player. Cole Young was the guy. He has done nothing since the start of this season to say he can't be the guy. Everybody's timetable is different. His timetable is rapid right now. Doesn't equal success. We all know that. I would bring him up because it's fun, and sports is supposed to be fun. It's unlike a similar situation when you bring up Jared Kelenic, because they were looking at Kelenic as a savior of a franchise. That was too much pressure on Kelenic. I don't know if that led to his struggles. Maybe it was inevitable that was going to happen with Kelenic. You're not doing that with Cole Young. There are enough veterans on this team around him. The team overall is better than when Kelenic was stepping in. You're not going to ask Cole Young to hit leadoff. He's going to hit the bottom of the order, and we're going to ask you just to play solid defense at second base and do what you can do there that you've been doing in the minor league level. He has a greater track record of hitting than Ben Williamson, with the struggles of Ben Williamson certainly at the plate. I think the glove is completely overblown by a lot of people, but you can't be an organization that props up your minor league players year after year and tells everyone how great they are and not at some point reward them. And it allows them to be a deeper ball club because they don't have to play Mastroboni a lot or as much as they are, or Dylan Moore. It can use them in different places, different times of the game. And you put Cole Young in there in a situation that he could probably handle himself. I would do it. Sounds like they're going to do it sooner rather than later. So for those who are leery of, stop being so concerned about it, being a wet blanket about it. Jerry DiPoto said yesterday, it's going to happen. It's going to happen fairly soon. I mean, it's May 29th. My guess is probably about a week, maybe less than a week, that you're going to see Cole Young come up here. And I'm all for it. I can't wait to see it. Just heard a lot of hype about all these guys. For a lot, and this is the second wave coming. I'm excited to see the second wave because it's what they need to complement this pitching that they have developed the last few years. So they need that second great wave of position players that's really going to push them over the top. I'm all in on Cole Young. And by the way, I'm convinced that Mariners Minor is the burner account of Mitch Unfiltered. That's Hey What the Puck, brought to you by Restoration One of your North Seattle. Your restoration company lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, mold damage with their property restoration services. Give them a call, 206-817-8917, 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. Thank you for everyone watching and listening today. Big thanks to Limbeck Lumber, John Howie Steak, Zogs on Fox Island, Hartley and Hartley Insurance, of course, Georgetown Brewery. Check out their new tavern beer, by the way. And, of course, as always, Restoration Today's Daily Puck Drop. Find it up on YouTube. When you're there, please subscribe to the channel. Also find the Daily Puck Drop on your favorite podcast platforms and at pucksports.com. When you're at pucksports.com, sign up to be a member of the Pucks Posse. $5 a month to support all the free content, VIP, and exclusive shows there as well. Baseball coverage with Ryan Divish. Sports Pit with Steve Sandmeyer and Matt Stretch Johnson. New episode coming out next week. Mitchie the Kid, Mitch Levy, Mitch Unfiltered every Thursday, of course, during the live show, and then for paid subscribers after we close it out. And now, Graz with Gas, Take 5 podcast, which is produced by Puck Sports. New episodes every Monday on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Just search Graz with Gas, Take 5. And, of course, you can find everything up at pucksports.com. Thank you all to watching and listening today. Appreciate the support as always. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Friday edition. Till then, as always, promise to be better.
No shoes, no ties.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah. I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rub you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!